three solutions to act on hemorrhoids: one Master Tung point, one bloodletting technique, and one classical TCM point. When treating hemorrhoids, Master Tung recommended that we needle these points pointing towards the hand, and these points are very quick acting. If you use these points on the patient will feel some relief in the moment, but the next session is where the real magic happens and the patient will tell you that everything improved a lot. And then, like this, with a very quick movement, you see that you can open the vein. Hi and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be talking about hemorrhoids. I'm going to be giving you three solutions to act on hemorrhoids: one Master Tung point, one bloodletting technique, and one classical TCM point. So three very different approaches, but all of them work great for hemorrhoids. Hemorrhoids are not a problem that we see a lot in the clinic, at least in my experience, but usually when a patient comes to us for hemorrhoids, they are very distressed. So it's very important that we have good resources to help the patient, but also that we have techniques at our disposal that allow us to have very quick results. Because usually the patients are suffering a lot and they need quick relief. Some caveats before we dive into the points. If you'd like to learn more about the techniques that I talk about in my videos, check out the courses I have available. I have courses in Portuguese and in English, so check them out in the links below. In these courses I teach the balanced method to treat pain. This is a technique where you get instant relief in most pain cases, so if you want to learn about it, check them out. First, as usual, when I'm talking about three solutions for any given problem, I'm not saying you should always use these three on every case or that every solution will be applicable to every hemorrhoid case. You need to analyze each patient, see what they need, see their full diagnosis. But I'm fairly certain that for any case of hemorrhoids that you might see, you'll be able to use at least one of these techniques to get great relief on your patient. And let's dive into our first approach, which will be a Master Tung set of points. But stay until the end because we'll finish with a classical TCM point that I'm sure you use a lot in your clinic, and in most cases you probably don't think of it for hemorrhoids, and it's a very, very effective point. So don't turn off the video until you see my third technique, which is the classical TCM point we'll be seeing. But first, let's dive into the first approach, which is Master Tung mais, which are the three Qis. These are 33.01, 02, and 03. Sorry for the ambulance sound. My clinic, where my studio is very close to a major hospital here in Portugal. So a lot of times we have to deal with ambulances stuck in traffic trying to get to the hospital. But I'll try to push through. I hope this doesn't distract you too much. As I was saying, this mais 33, 01, 02, and 03 is an amazing set of points to work on hemorrhoids. As you can see here in the image, these points are located along the large intestine channel and on the area 33, so on the forearm. And you'll find the first point, 33.01, 2 tsun proximal to the crease of the wrist. You'll go proximal 2 tsun to get 33.02 and 2 more tsun to get 33.03. So 2, 4, and 6 tsun proximal to the wrist. These points have the shunjing of the lung plus the 6 fu, and as general applications you can use these points for hemorrhoids, for anal prolapse, constipation, some cases of urinary problems such as bladder infections, some problems with regulating the menstruation, and regarding the genitalia. But in my opinion, the main indication for these points is hemorrhoids and anal prolapse. And as a general rule, you can needle these points as regular points of the large intestine channel, but when treating hemorrhoids, Master Tung recommended that we needle these points pointing towards the hand. So you're going to go almost threading the needle through the large intestine channel towards the hand on each of the 3 points. And these points are very quick acting. Usually, if you use these points on the patient will feel some relief in the moment, but the next session is where the real magic happens and the patient will tell you that everything improved a lot. As I said in the beginning, this is not a magical pill that will work on every case, but most cases of hemorrhoids can benefit from using these points, and in the large majority of cases you will see a huge improvement even with just one session. As for the second approach, we're going to be working with bloodletting, and specifically we're going to be looking for veins to bleed in 2 areas of the bladder channel. Because of its path, the bladder channel is going to be very important in treating hemorrhoids, and bloodletting is an amazing tool, especially to get immediate relief. In those cases where the patient come in where they tell me they can't even sit down, they can't go to the bathroom, it's very painful, every time they go to the bathroom they have a lot of blood. In those cases, I always think about bleeding to reduce the inflammation and to help them in the most immediate way possible. And my favorite area to bleed here is the area of bladder 40. You can also go looking for veins around bladder 57, but if you find them around bladder 40, bleed them and it will be almost magic. In most cases where the patient has hemorrhoids, especially if they're inflamed, you'll see that you have a lot of visible veins around bladder 40, and you'll bleed at least one of them. If you have veins in both sides, use both sides in the same treatment. And I've talked about bloodletting before, but I'm going to show you here again the video of me doing the bloodletting technique. What you'll do is you will find a very superficial vein, what we can call a spider vein. I like to use 20 gauge hypodermic needles, and then like this, with a very quick movement, you see that you can open the vein and you'll get a few drops of blood. Usually in this area you get more than a few drops, but it's not that much blood. You don't need to be scared to do it. And I guarantee you that the moment you tell the patient to sit back down after you do this, the patient will be amazed with the difference that they feel, because in almost every case of hemorrhoids where we have a lot of pain in the moment, a lot of heat, a lot of inflammation, this will reduce the symptoms immediately. So it's a very, very good technique to apply on hemorrhoid patients. And the last approach, as I promised, is a classical TCM point that we're just going to needle regularly, and this is do my 20. Yes, the point that you almost certainly use to calm down your patient or for symptoms in the head is an amazing point to use for hemorrhoids. This is because of the classical saying, the top treats the bottom. And if you think about the balance method, you know that you can use the highest area of the dumai to treat the lowest area of the dumai. So do 20 will treat problems around dumai 1. Again, this isn't a magical solution, but in most cases, if you do a needle on dumai 20 on the patient, he will feel immediate relief. And this is not only momentarily relief, but the hemorrhoids will start to reduce, and you will see that the patient will get better with your treatments. In this case, I usually don't look for the exact location of dumai 20, but I will look for ashi points around the point. Even if it's slightly outside of the dumai, if it's close enough, I'll use the more sensitive point and not the exact location. But yes, this point is very effective for treating hemorrhoids. And these were the 3 strategies to treat hemorrhoids. I hope that you found them helpful. And if you see a patient with hemorrhoids, this is not a magical pill. You'll still need to do your diagnosis. You'll still need to evaluate the patient and what they need in that moment. But I'm fairly certain that at least one of these 3 strategies will apply to that patient. And if you use it, you'll get improved results on your treatment. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with anyone that might benefit from it. And I'll see you in the next one.